Hello and welcome to the Pickup WNBA podcast. I'm your host, Cathryn Eicher.
And I'm your other host, Freddie Rivas.
And this is episode 125.
125. What's 125 things you can do? I don't know, but I got a couple things you can do, which is follow us on all social media accounts. We're talking the Pickup WNBA podcast on YouTube, on Insta, some other ones that barely matter, Facebook, Twitter, one that's on the way, Blue Sky. And we're not even pretending to be on TikTok yet, but people are finding us and we're loving it. A lot of folks listening to us on Spotify and all the different ways that you get your podcast, and they're also just like share like the words out. So we've had a lot of growth, and shout out to all of our listeners who've been there from the beginning and the ones who are just like hopping on. And I also wanted to, again, thank everyone who's filling out this ACAST and Sonar survey. So the survey is really, really helping, and we're getting a lot of feedback, and we're so excited to put it all together and learn a bunch from our listeners specifically, and hopefully have like ads that are interesting to people, and not have ads that suck. So that's that's one of the
ads we might actually get paid for to do.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and then maybe we could be on TikTok.
then we go to TikTok,
because we are only going to be on TikTok if we're paying someone else to put us on.
That's there. Right. Because we're, what's the word? Fucking old.
And also, like, just like I have anxiety with social media. That's why it's kind of more on you. That's like more your end of how we split our responsibilities with the show. I do more of the back end, like the editing, uploading, and stuff.
Yeah, my anxiety that would be anxious for me. Like,
right. So our anxieties are in such a way where
exactly
we're able to be aligned.
When someone's like, download this PDF and sign this form, I'm like, cool. See you in another lifetime. Because my brain is just, my executive functioning is going to fall apart on the spot.
Oh man.
Yeah.
ADHD
and probably some comorbidities. Yeah.
Well, I told you that I'm getting an ADHD assessment soon for myself, even though there's different kinds of ADHD. And anyway, it's kind of a nightmare, but I did a general assessment, and then I got recommended to do this assessment. And so it's just like tests and tests and tests. We'll see what happens.
Best of luck, mate. I don't even know what that is.
That was so bad.
I know, it was very.
Do it again.
Best of luck, mate.
No. Why does your face contort?
I don't know. Mind the gap.
So you can't do a British accent without your whole face shifting to one side.
Oh, I certainly can. But I'm choosing not to. Is that good? This is why you got to watch us on YouTube. Because
and sorry, I didn't have my finger on the mute for that.
Yeah, get the hell. This is why you got to watch us on YouTube, because is this a late show? No. But I am tired, and my brain's
We record late. It's after, it's 9 p.m. on Wednesday.
Yeah, come on. It's not late.
Well, it's late to still be working, considering we work all day.
I hear that.
All right. We are going to do a season preview today with using awards. So who do we think is going to win each award? MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, et cetera, et cetera. Who do we think is going to win? Who do we think is going to be in the finals? But first, we've got some very interesting news out of Connecticut. So the team is looking to sell, essentially, which is big news. And when a team sells, depending on who buys it, there could be a relocation involved. So that's pretty major for our Connecticut Sun fans of the world.
Yeah, so this is absolutely huge. The last time a WNBA team uh, has relocated was the San Antonio Stars, went to Las Vegas in 2017.
Mhm.
So I mean, I think you really have to credit this current time of the WNBA and its growth, at least in part, to things not being in flux, like having like a
It's
bedrock of
yeah, like stability.
yeah, exactly.
Sorry,
Like
yeah.
the stability has been a huge contributor. I think it's actually one of the most, in my opinion, underrated contributors to this current boom in the
Mm,
WNBA.
I agree.
Uh, there's a lot going on here. So the Mohegan tribe is the collective ownership of the Sun, and to say that is one of the most unique things in sports to have a you know in Canada, we say First Nations or
Indigenous.
Indigenous, but, in the US, I know it's pretty common to say Indian American,
Isn't it common to say Native
or
American?
Native American as well, and I think, like, what's happening here with the Mohegan tribe owning, the Sun is completely unheard of in sports, and it's really, really special, and I think it's incredible. However, when you go back to the Alyssa Thomas comments, the lack of training facility, there's been sort of very public frustration about the Sun not having, I don't know, the capital or the resources or the expenditures of other ownership groups, even though they've been very, very competitive. All this to say, the Sun are shopping, and what that entails is kind of like remains to be seen. So scary time, a scary time, I think, for Sun fans.
Yeah. I mean, on one hand, if they stay, then this is a really good thing, I think, because
Yeah.
hopefully whoever buys in, if it's like, I assume it'll be a group, not just like an individual, but whoever buys if they stay, then hopefully they do start investing in their team and resources, and they can kind of level up to where, the Liberty and the Aces and the Mercury, etc., happen to be now. So we'll see. But if they move, then that's like a real shame for the Connecticut fans because, they've been there. Like, I feel like in the past, we've complimented the Connecticut Sun fans just
Mhm.
watching the games, like how invested they are, especially in the playoffs. Like, they really show up. You don't see a lot of empty seats watching their games. Like, I feel like that fan base is really strong. And, you know, I can't speak for the Mohegan Group who owns this team, but you know, it's a weird time to want to sell your team when you know the league is kind of at an all-time high and is growing. So it's not like, oh, they're gonna peak soon and things are gonna plummet. Like we're not really at that kind of state. But to me, it's sort of telling that like they don't want to do that kind of investing, and so that's kind of why they're pulling out now. So we'll see. Who knows?
Yeah, I think another part of this too is we I say, we, but I mean me and you and our kind of timeline here with the podcast, like we're always experiencing new things. However, the sale of a team would be brand new for us because the value that would say a lot. Like the purchase, the price point
Oh, true.
is going to say a lot about the value of a WNBA franchise. Like we know the value as far as teams joining, new teams, expansion, right? And really how fast that has exploded from Golden State to Toronto to Portland. We've done that money dance, right? Where this last team, Cleveland, they paid like just like an exorbitant amount compared to uh compared to Golden State just to have the rights to have a team. And yeah, so what an existing team would go for and what that means is just, yeah, it's all sorts of interesting. I
On
want
the sorry, go
sorry.
ahead.
No, I was gonna. I told you one of our fans wrote in, so I was gonna go there. But if you had another point, go for it.
Just a really small point I wanted to make is that on the NBA side, the Portland Trail Blazers ownership is looking to sell. And I don't know if or how that might affect the W team
Hmm.
in Portland that's supposed to debut next year. So, something to keep an eye on. That's all.
Yeah, I can't answer off the top of my head. I think they're separate ownerships groups.
They
So
must be. But I
I
feel
think.
like if they sell and they move, that's gonna really impact the fan base in Portland.
Hmm.
I mean, it could be a Seattle Storm situation, but they're gonna be a new team, so it's not like they're gonna have, like, Sue Bird.
That's right, but they might have people who want to watch basketball and can't. If
Oh,
that's the case, you know.
yeah.
I mean, that's hard to say, but well,
Anyway,
for yeah, so I'm gonna go in two different directions here, but I'll start here. So Justin, who is a listener of the pod, Justin, thanks so much for sharing this.
hi,
So,
Justin.
hey Justin, Justin got is a um season seat holder for the Sun, and Justin got a like a message from ownership. All the season seat holders did, and a lot of it is sort of what you kind of just like placating folks. But then there's some ominous stuff. So I'll just read it. It's not too long. Bear with me here. Thank you for reaching out. Sorry, dear Source season ticket members. Thank you for reaching out with your questions. I want to take a moment to provide some clarity on the current situation. Our ownership group is currently exploring potential Connecticut Sun investment opportunities. At this time, there has been no official change in ownership and no decisions have been made regarding the future of the team. The ownership group is committed to the team's continued success, which includes looking at all strategic options that are in the best interest of the Connecticut Sun and the WNBA. There should be any should there be any official updates, they will come directly from the organization. Most importantly, the 2025 season will not be affected. Your tickets remain valid for all scheduled home games, and we are fully committed to providing you with an exciting and memorable season. Our top priority is ensuring you have an outstanding experience supporting the team. Most importantly, the 2025, oh, sorry, I'm reading that part again. We will share more information regarding the 2026 season and ticket renewals once those plans are finalized. Thank you for your continued support and go Sun. Warm regards, Jen Rizzotti, Connecticut Sun president. So, yeah, I've already read this before. Catherine, what's your first take?
What was the ominous part?
The ominous part is that they said your tickets are good for the 2025 season. And, they didn't come out and say, hey, don't worry. We're not going to leave Connecticut.
Oh, see, I thought that was reassuring,
Well, I think that's
that
the
at
goal.
least you're not gonna lose your money for this year.
Yeah, but if you're a fan that wants your team to stay in the city, I think you're
Yeah.
sort of like, what? So you're telling us like we're tanking this year
And we
and
might not even still
we
be
might not even
here.
have a team the year after.
Yeah.
So I think that and just that they're saying like we're exploring all options for the Connecticut Sun and for the WNBA. It doesn't really invoke a lot of optimism
No.
if you're kind of
No, that they're
hoping that you don't
exploring,
relocate.
they're exploring all options, quote unquote. I think there's some room to be optimistic here. I mean, like I said, the Sun do have a great fan base. And maybe like if they don't you know what I mean? Like, it's a great fan base. It's a really great market. It is sure it's a smaller market, but they show up. And I
Oh, the
feel like
fans are
that
incredible.
yeah, so it's like there's value in staying, right? So I feel like there is room for them to stay. And then also if they move, then yeah, then you have to get the league involved to determine where they can move and blah blah blah. I mean, there's a world, I'm just gonna throw this out here. There's a world where they move to Boston.
Certainly, certainly. I mean, I'm
Right?
not.
So it's like because Connecticut is kind of like it's geographically close. I feel like that's kind of like they're sort of in place of a Boston franchise.
And we've looked this up before, but they play in Unico, right? Uh, where do they play?
I don't recall.
Uncasville, Montville, Connecticut, United States.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
Um, the Celtics have a new ownership group. I don't know. I'm just saying. There's a world where they move, but they're still geographically like not so far. That's all.
yeah. Uh, I,
Um,
I'm hoping for that as well.
I'm hoping that they stay. Yeah.
Yeah,
And thank you for sending us that note, Justin. That's like insider info for us.
I know. There's some serious insider info, so thank you very much for that.
Okay, great. Should we move on to season preview?
Yes, we should. I just want to give one more note to our listeners. We talked about doing this fantasy team, and it's happening. The draft is on Friday at 2 p.m. We got so much interest, and yeah, the league's full. So if you reached out to us and we let you know that we integrate you if we could, uh we apologize that it was this popular, and then also that ESPN would only let us do 10 teams. I
Mhm.
understand, like, a 12 league 14, or a 12 league team or 14 league team or 16 league team would be tough because
There's only so many
there's
players.
only so many players, right? You'd be really looking at the bottom of the bench kind of thing. However, I don't know. I just assumed that me and Cathryn would each have a team and we'd have room for anyone that wanted to join. So we will, I guess, yeah, we'll have fun this year, and next year we can explore doing 2 leagues or something like that. But yeah, we're really, really excited
Yeah, and
to,
Freddie and I are
yeah,
sharing a team
we're sharing a team. Yeah.
to free up some space. So,
Yes.
yeah, cool. And Freddie, you've reached out to everyone to let them know the draft time and all that?
That's right. Yeah. So it's 2 p.m. this Friday coming up, which is going to be the uh the 16th. So this pod is going to come out on the 15th and 16th, 2 p.m. If you, I mean, everyone signed up for the league except one person. Katie, get in there. We're waiting on you. If you listen to the pod and you're like, oh, I didn't respond, respond. Uh,
This really
so
should have been at the top of the episode.
I know, but I feel like our listeners, they'll get in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Meat and potatoes. Let's do it. Award season. Let's jump into it.
Okay. Freddie, first award. Where do we want to start?
Yeah. Do you want to go, like, should we go like big award, medium award, like kind of sprinkle this out, or what?
You gave it to me in the order of MVP, Coach of the Year, Sixth Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved Player, Finals, Teams, and Winner. Do you want to just
Uh,
do it in that
did I
order?
not put ROY in there?
No. Oh, so I
Oh,
didn't pick. Oh, okay. Well, that's easy.
yeah.
Okay, Rookie of the Year as well. So let's
So
just do
yeah,
it in that.
let's do
Let's
it.
just do it in that order.
Great.
Okay, so I've talked about my MVP
Yep.
pick on this podcast
We know
before.
who it is.
It has not changed. I'm not backing down on my word. I'm sticking with Nafisa Collier.
Yeah. Great.
I'm
Love
still
it.
convinced she is going to have the best year of her career yet.
Yeah. Why wouldn't she? Right? Just dominated, unrivaled. She is so primed. She was the very clear number 2 last year, and I think is in, yeah. prime position to win the MVP.
Mm-hmm. And your pick. We don't know your pick for MVP.
Yeah, so had a lot of thought here.
Let's
And
go.
I do believe I may surprise you, and I may surprise some listeners,
Mm-hmm.
particularly longtime listeners of the pod.
Wow.
But Caitlin Clark is going to win the MVP.
Wow.
Yes, yeah. So here's my reasoning.
This is foretelling of future picks, I think. Go ahead.
It is a narrative based award, right? And I think that, of course, me and you have talked about how WNBA fans are really like on their money, and they don't just like give people awards for popularity. Like, so like that's not where I'm coming from here. But I think that some of the main contenders, not including Nafisa, uh, I think that narratively are at a little bit of a disadvantage. So let's start with Asia. Asia, I think, is, in my opinion, undoubtedly the best player in the world. But I think we're going to experience some voter fatigue.
Yeah.
I think that for her to best herself once more, I think she could very well be the best player in the world and not win. And then it could be like, it's one of those things where we go back in history and it's like, what? She didn't win? So yeah, I'm not coming from a place of being like, this is like who deserves it. I think that Caitlin's gonna be, I think she's gonna be deserving, but I think narratively people are gonna want it so bad. I think Brianna Stewart similarly is just going to yeah, rely on others and just make sure she's healthy, and she's just going for another championship, and she could win it and she might not. I also, my thing with Nafisa is I think that she's been going. So I feel like the Lynx also fancy themselves as contenders, and I wouldn't be very surprised if with this longer season, either Nafisa has like some injury woes, or also just kind of paces herself in a way that yeah. Yeah, I don't really have a good argument for Nafisa because I think that she's gonna be gunning for it as well. So, I
Yeah.
mean,
I think
yeah.
she's gunning for it.
But anyway, so that's my Caitlin Clark argument, and I think that she's just gonna. I think also like as far as like talent on a team, Minnesota has some other major talents, and it's not that Indiana doesn't, but I think Indiana's really built to complement Caitlin this year more than they were last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will
Anyways,
see. We'll see.
that's
I
my
like
take.
it. I feel like you just tried to pick somebody that wasn't going to be who I picked because you knew. But that's fine.
That's part of it.
Okay, let's move on. I sandwiched rookie of the year in the middle here. So let's move
Awesome.
on to coach of the year.
Yeah.
Who do you got?
This one's really hard. There's 8 new coaches.
I
So
know.
I think I'm blanking out. Last year was Sandy Brandello.
I think so. You can Google that.
Do. Well, whatever. I'm not picking Sandy Brandello regardless.
Oh
I
wow, that sounded so like
She's great. She's great. But I think it's the follow up thing. I think people are going to be like, your team is
no, it was
stacked.
Cheryl. It was Cheryl Reeve.
Oh, Cheryl Reeve. Right. That makes a lot of sense. Anyways, I'm going Noelle Quinn. So I think Seattle is going to surprise people. I think they're going to be awesome. And I feel like Seattle is going to have that perfect coach narrative where a lot of the credit they get for being successful is going to be like coach credit.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I like it. I went in a bit of a different direction for this one. I picked the LA Sparks new coach, Lynn Roberts.
Hmm.
And the reason I chose her is because, like you were talking about MVP being a narrative driven award, I feel that way about the coach of the year award, where usually it's based on exceeding expectations. And I think as a team, the LA Sparks are primed to at least exceed expectations this year.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like they have Kelsey Plum, they're going to get Cameron Brink back. It's going to be another year for Rakia Jackson. Dearic Kahambi is one of the more underrated players in this league. I always say that. I feel like this team is primed to exceed expectations. I think they'll be in the playoffs. They could even be like a sixth seed, which, considering where they were last year, is massive improvement. And I think this is a scenario where the coach could get a lot of credit for that. Also, too, like I don't know too much about Lynn Roberts, but uh she has 27 seasons of collegiate women's basketball coaching experience. So she's got a ton of experience leading into this. So I feel like insiders probably know her really well. And I think that also makes it kind of prime for her to possibly win this award.
Yep, I love it. Just out of curiosity, when you brought up Cameron Brink, I kind of thought she'd be ready to go from the jump, but I just looked it up. She is, they're targeting June.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So, and then also just a interesting note here. I thought it would be like a full draft, but Brink plans to play in the Unrivaled League with the Lunar Owls in the 2026 season.
She's
So,
obsessed with purple.
So this is interesting to me. I didn't know that that was like a thing that like, yeah. Anyways, Unrivaled. We'll deal with that later. But uh, yeah, just an interesting sort of like addendum to the season. Now it's like this like kind of like post. Yeah, the almost like mini like denouement of the WNBA season.
I don't know what you're saying right now.
I'm saying that it is. I'm saying that I find it interesting. I know I said, what did I say? Denouement. And I said,
You said a lot.
I got fancy. I got fancy.
No, you said a lot. It's an interesting what to the season? Like what's happening?
I'll bring down the vocab just a bit here. Addition to the season.
Cameron Brink coming back?
No, the like the fact that Cameron Brink is public about which unrivaled team she wants to play with
I don't
is
understand how that'll affect the W though.
well, to me, it's just showing the strength of Unrivaled. Like it was so successful that a whole year from now, the Brink, who or Cameron Brink, who you feel like
The
would just
Brink.
the
The
Brink,
Brink.
the Brink. Uh, by the way, that's her new nickname, the Brink.
The Brink, yeah.
To the Brink. No, but the fact that you have WNBA players talking about Unrivaled like a year in advance and not their WNBA team shows the weight of Unrivaled.
Well, I don't think she hasn't talked about her WNBA team.
No, she has talked about her
Yeah.
WNBA, but
I
she's
think
also
yeah.
talking about Unrivaled.
Yeah, that's fair. I think to me, I see Unrivaled as a great compliment to the W.
Yeah.
I don't really see it as like they're butting heads.
No,
Um,
I'm not saying that.
okay. Let's move on. We got sixth player of the year. This is a hard one to predict.
It's very hard because of lineups and it's just it's hard to figure out like okay who's actually going to play and who's going to be like sort of who's going to be on a for me the question is who's going to be on a very good team and just outside of the starting lineup. So I have two potentials,
Okay.
but I'm going to go
I feel
uh
good about my pick actually.
okay. Uh I'm torn, but
I
I'm
wonder
going to
if
go
we
with
have the same one.
Las Vegas Aces, Dana Evans.
Okay. I like
So
this pick.
so it's a new team. She's a really good point guard, but like she's just not gonna be like the starter for that team.
Yeah.
It's not happening. And I think that she is gonna be trusted by Becky Hammond, and I think she's gonna be like a really sort of trusted part of
The
that.
backup point guard,
Yeah,
yeah.
the backup point guard, and I think she'll end up being like, playing crunch minutes. And anyways, yeah, I had another person for this, but that's who I'm going with.
Okay, great. I wanna hear your other person, but I wanna do mine in case we pick the same one.
Okay.
Because maybe we did, I have no idea. So, I had a similar thought process, but I was looking at the New York Liberty, and I
Mhm.
decided to go with Maureen Johannes.
Yep.
Is that who you had?
That's not my other person, but that was someone who I was exactly. We have the same thought here.
Yeah, same thought process, exactly like, somebody on a really good team who's, like, barely missing in the starting lineup, who's gonna be a massive contributor. She wasn't in the W last year because she had other international commitments. The year prior, she had a huge impact on the team I remember in their finals run, they didn't win, but in that run, she had a huge impact. She's back now. I feel like this is a prime opportunity for her to snag this award. And the thing too is like I'm not even 100% sure of the Liberty starting lineup, but I'm pretty confident she's going to be the main point guard off the bench. So I'm pretty sure their lineup is going to be Sabrina Ionescu, Benijah Laney Hamilton, Natasha Cloud, Brianna Stewart, and John Cole Jones. That's who I'm assuming is their starting lineup. Oh, and Leona Fevic.
Yeah, she's for
So
sure in the starting lineup.
yeah. So that's no, I named 6 players. Well, we'll see. But I'm assuming they'll be in the starting lineup before Maureen Johannes.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Wait, okay, Sabrina,
I named 6 players.
Sabrina, Jonquel, and Stewie,
Stewie.
like 100%. And then I think Natasha Cloud, and
Yes.
then Phoebish, and then
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah. So then maybe Benijah Laney's gonna be 6th player of the year. Benijah Laney Hamilton.
did she not relocate to the Sparks?
Is she on the Sparks now? When I googled the roster, she's still listed. But hold on, let me click on her
I
profile
I
here.
think she's on the move. I think she moved. She moved somewhere because she's not. I don't think she's on.
Hold on, hold on, hold
I know
on.
there's so much player movement.
Oh, wait, hold on. She's gonna miss the season. New York Liberty standout Benijah Laney Hamilton will miss the 2025 WNBA season as she recovers from an off-season knee injury.
Gotcha.
So she's still there.
Okay, so she's still a Liberty member, but just out for the year.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes my Maureen Johannes argument a bit stronger, actually.
Mm-hmm.
That's unfortunate. I hope
That
she
sucks.
yeah, I hope she gets well and we see her back next year. Okay, we should keep this moving, Freddie.
Let's keep it moving. I'm just going to throw out my other person.
Yes, please.
Oh God, where was I? I was just looking at her. Um, the Fever stacked. So we got Caitlin Clark, Natasha Howard, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, DeWanna Bonner. Easy starting 5. Sophie Cunningham is going to be your sixth woman of the year. Sophie
Okay.
Cunningham, but anyways, Dana
Interesting.
Evans is my pick, but Sophie Cunningham is my runner up.
Okay. Defensive player of the year.
This one's also very hard. I think what happens in these awards is that it's often the MVP and then the person who's sort of the MVP, kind of
Yeah,
the
I have
runner-up, they
Asia
get it.
Wilson down for this. I think that there's going to be some voter fatigue for MVP, but she is the best, and then they'll give her defensive player of the year.
I like it. That's a really good pick. I'm going to go. I'm going to wild swing for the fences here. I'm going for Cameron Brink.
Wow,
Yeah, she comes back, just block city.
that's true. I mean, I think she was averaging like 4 blocks before her
It was
injury.
something crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. We don't have more to say on that.
No, but I mean, my pick's just wild. It's probably not
Yeah,
going to be Cameron Brink, but I'm doing it.
I like it.
Taking you to the
Okay.
brink.
Rookie of the year, Paige.
Dominique Malonga.
Okay, cool. Um, I knew you were gonna step on my pick. I have for most improved player, Sophie Cunningham.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, I can see that.
For the
I might.
same reason you had her as a runner-up for your sixth player, and now we've already talked about her because you got greedy and had 2 players.
Greedy, greedy. Uh,
You have a
I,
greedy dance?
I guess so.
Anyway, look, I think you're right. I think the fever is stacked. I just feel like, Sophie has been, she's been in this league for a while. She has been coming off the bench for a while. She's like a consistent, like really good rotation player. I feel like I think she's gonna love this new home. They're always like firmer, strong, Sophie Cunningham on the broadcast, and now it's like I just feel like I don't even know where she's from, but I feel like she's with her people now. And that's gonna lift her up. So maybe, sixth player, most improved player. This could be somewhat interchangeable for her because she is coming off the bench, but I do think this is going to be a good year for her.
Love it.
Who's your pick?
I'm going with one of our Canadian pals. I'm going with Aaliyah Edwards. I think she's in a
Oh, okay.
yeah, I think she's in a good position to win this award. She's going to get a lot of minutes, a lot of opportunity on the Mystic, and they got 3 draft picks coming in, so I think that's going to push her to.
They've got injuries though,
They do,
and
and
she's injured to start the
oh, is
season.
she injured? Okay, then that might be a bust pick right away. Yeah, wait, there was a bunch of injuries like recently. No one got injured in preseason, but I'm googling. Is she injured? Oh, lower back contusion. She's all right. She'll be in the mix.
Out for 2 weeks, they say. Yeah, so
Yeah,
she'll have enough
yeah,
games.
yeah.
You're
She's
right.
all good. She's all
Yeah,
good.
good. Okay, I like it. You're really big on the Mystics this year, but more so than me. I'm not gonna lie, but I
Uh,
like it. I like it for you.
thank you, thank you.
Hmm. Um. Okay. Now, so those are the awards.
Those are the.
Ba-ba-ba-da.
Are we missing
No, we're
one?
now we're gonna do the finals and the winner.
Okay, let's do it.
Oh, no, okay, you go first. I feel like based on your Caitlin Clark pick.
Whew. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. So the finals this year is going to be just there's no the West. There's a lot of options, and then in the East there's no options because it's going to be the Liberty. So the Liberty are going to be in the finals. The Fever, the Fever will certainly not beat the Liberty. Period. And end of story. So we're gonna have the Liberty versus. This is hard for me. I think it's going to be Liberty versus Aces.
Really?
Uh,
Okay. Go
and
running it back from before.
I know that they played each other in the semis last year, so
Yeah.
maybe I'm. Is there a reshuffle that happened here? Because
What do you mean a reshuffle? What are
like,
you
how
referring
did they
to?
play each other even though they're in different conferences? I
Because
will.
there's no conferences in the playoffs. It's just the best 1 through 8.
You're right. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So
You
then
knew that though.
I
I
did.
think you forgot, but you knew that.
I knew that and I forgot. So I'm gonna go Aces versus Liberty, and I'm gonna go Liberty back to back.
Okay. See, you have been calling the Lynx your team for multiple years,
Yeah,
and
I gave them no
you're
love.
not you gave them no love at
That's right.
all.
I know.
And I think that's egregious.
I was gonna go
And
Caitlin McBride
you
at
have
MIT.
done this before. You called yourself a Sky homer and then you dipped. Now you're like, "Oh, I'm a Lynx homer." Now you
Yeah,
dipped. You're
better
not
believe it.
loyal. You're not
Nope.
loyal, Freddie. You're not
Tempo
loyal. Yeah, well, but the tempo aren't here yet. So
to
you had
change
one you
everything.
had one more year to be a Lynx fan and you opted out.
Tempo.
It doesn't make sense. They don't exist yet.
They sort of do.
Next year though.
Yeah.
So you're not rooting for the Lynx this year?
Lunar Owls. Let's go. No, I am rooting for the Lynx. I want them to win. Bridget
But
Carlton.
you
Let's go.
don't have them projected anywhere.
Yeah, but wanting a team to win and thinking they're gonna win is different.
Of course, but damn.
So
I'm just surprised because they're so good.
They are so good, but I feel like they're primed for, like, the league kinda checking them a bit. Like, I think they had that like, they surprised people last year, and I think that teams are gonna get up to play the Lynx just a little bit more than they did last year, and it will affect them in the long run.
Okay.
They're very,
I
very
don't
deep
I
though.
don't dislike this theory. I think that's a very valid theory. See, I feel like the Lynx and the Liberty are gonna be back.
Okay.
But the thing that I was toying with is the fact that, like, it's really hard to be in a finals 3 years in a row,
Mhm.
right? So it's like it would be 3 years in a row for the Liberty to go
Yeah.
all the way to the finals, and I feel like even with the Aces last year, to some extent, there was some fatigue there. Right? Now, I think, like, the Liberty are a deeper team, so it's not like, last year, the Asia just carrying that whole team on her back, all due respect
Mhm.
to the other players, but really, I mean, uh, yeah, I just feel like, are they gonna, like I don't like, I do see them being in the finals, but I feel like I kinda see the Lynx in an opposite way. Yes, people are gonna be gunning for them, but they're also a really deep team, and I think and they're very well coached. And I don't think they're not expecting that. And I feel like they lost to the Liberty last year, but it went to 5 games, like, this was a really tight series.
Yep.
So, I mean, on the other hand, the Liberty did get better. Like, adding Natasha Cloud is so huge for the Liberty, if Sabrina has an off shooting night, you've got Natasha Cloud right there, like, this is so major for the Liberty. So
Yeah.
I've been back and forth between these 2 teams, like, all day.
I mean, they're both stacked.
I've been back and forth all day. Maybe
Alyssa
I'll go Liberty.
Alyssa
I mean,
Peely, Diamond
I
Miller.
love the Liberty. I bought Sabrina's shoes, and I did them in the colors that Ellie the Elephant did, like the Liberty colors.
Shit.
So maybe I just go with the Liberty because I actually like them, unlike you.
So you're betraying the Sun or the Mercury, sorry.
The Mercury aren't gonna be in the finals.
But they're your team, so shame on you.
No, there's no shame on me. There's no realm where the Mercury are gonna be in the finals where the Lynx are projected to be like a finals contending championship
Kalia
contending
Copper,
team.
Alyssa Thomas, Satu Sabali.
No, I think they're gonna be in the second round. But
Okay.
also, hold on. I decided I was gonna be a Phoenix Mercury fan because of Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner. They're not there anymore.
You don't like Nate Tibbetts?
So I feel like more I do have more sway here to say I'm gonna move on to a different team for this year than you do. You have no excuse.
Tempo, baby.
That's not an excuse.
But what if I say it like that?
Just to annoy me?
Yeah.
That's fine. Freddie, it is time for your fun question. Let's go.
FFQ, let's go. Engelbert, hire us. We got some good ideas coming. So here's the deal. Uh, my award, or sorry, my FFQ is awards based. I was going to jump right into it. My FFQ is this is all about awards. Cathryn, I asked us both to invent an award. So I feel like I feel like you're prepped. So do you want to give me one of yours?
Yeah, are you not prepped?
I got one, but I feel like you said you got two. So we can
I
go back.
technically have 3, but
Okay,
one's like a real one, and then the other 2 are funny.
give me the real one.
The real one is they could have a leadership award,
Okay. Yeah, that's great.
and that could be like community leadership,
So
like
not because there is like a sportsmanship award, but we're talking like leadership.
yeah.
So different. Okay. Yeah, that's good. That'd be great.
But that's my real one. That's not my fun one. Go. Tell
Okay.
us your fun one.
You ready?
Yeah.
No, mine's both. Mine's fun and great.
Okay.
People are gonna
Let's
love it.
let
Engelbert,
okay, let's have
hire
it.
me. Best crowd.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And you really like you take it seriously though. Like you have people like going, and for sure are some fan bases going to be pissed off? Yes. But this is like,
Best crowd.
you're tracking sellouts. It's not judged by like, okay, I get that different arenas have different sizes, blah blah blah, but it's like all those things are taken into consideration. So you're looking at
How
sellouts.
loud do you get? Yeah.
How loud do you get? What's like, what's the sort of like activity from the fans? Do they have
Oh, I feel
chants?
like the Aces could get that.
Oh, Aces could get it. Liberty could get it. I mean, the Sun have a good fan base. There's a lot of good fan bases, and like there's unique. We'll see what the
The
Valkyries.
Lynx have a great fan
The
base.
Lynx have a good. There's
They've
so many.
got a woman knitting.
Exactly. That's the kind of shit you got to factor
She's
in.
like basically a mascot.
Exactly. And they tried to kick her
knitting
out,
or
and then everyone's like,
crocheting
absolutely
or
not. No, you
something.
got to let
Oh
this
my
woman
God.
knit. So yeah, exactly. So like, Liberty of Jason Sudeikis. Well, that's too bad because we got a lady knitting.
Yeah. Can you knit Sudeikis?
Yeah.
Okay,
crowd.
that's cool. I like it. I really like that. My two silly ones are Miss Congeniality.
Okay.
Took that from Drag Race.
Love that.
Who's most congenial? And then my other one is participation, because there's only so many roster spots.
Participation would be so
that you should
slanderous.
get an award just for making a team, because it's so hard to make a team.
That would be the most slanderous award of all time. Participation. That would be like,
come on, you love it.
I do love it. That's
Yeah,
nuts.
congratulations, you made the team. Boop,
Wow.
participation.
Okay, let me just off the dome throw this one out. Funniest.
Funniest player?
Funniest player.
Who do you think is the funniest player?
I think Sydney Colson gets a lot of love. So I think
Yeah, Sydney Colson.
that would be like she's sort of like the Twitter.
Yeah,
person,
she would get it.
But I think that it would be interesting debate, like because like obviously
I was trying to resist doing like fashion stuff. Like I didn't want to add that to this.
Yeah, that already like happens, and it's like I feel like it's like if you participate in fashion, great. If you don't, also great. So carry on. Yeah, best runway, whatever. But like I think we both avoided
Courtney
that.
Williams would have something to say about the funniest player,
right? Totally.
because she's kind of like
also like Asia's really funny. Like there's a lot of different types of funny. So
yeah, I like it. That's cool. Let's wrap it up there. Thank you everyone so much for listening and tuning in. Happy start of the season, everyone.
Happy start of the season.
This weekend. Looking forward to seeing our fantasy players and our fantasy team. Yeah, thank you again. Excited to start a new one.
Yeah, and a lot of people have been reaching out with just all like ideas, opinions, everything. So keep it coming, keep commenting. We really love it, and yeah, we'll see you next week.
Okay, bye everyone.
Okay, peace.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network.